They won't. That time also I was in Moscow. Night at 1 a.m. The tanks are going and the friends are calling me up. In Leninsky Prospect I was there. They said, come out in the balcony and see what is happening. And then around 4 morning they called me up and said that Purubi, everything is done very peacefully. We are by the side of Yeltsin. He's delivering lecture. Open the TV, switch on. So I switched on TV and found Yeltsin standing on the tank and delivering lecture.
Je ne m'attendais guère à une ambiance aussi russe chez Purubi Roy, historienne des relations soviéto-indiennes, qui nous accueille dans sa maison du centre de Calcutta. Nous y buvons du thé, servi avec de la confiture, comme à la datcha. Et tandis qu'elle me raconte ses souvenirs de la tentative de putsch d'août 1991, qui assura le pouvoir à Boris Yeltsin, je réalise que la place que celui-ci occupa face à Gorbatchev n'est pas sans rappeler celle de Subhash Chandra Bose face à M.N. Roy. D'un côté, le politique décidé, parfois brutal, cynique mais populaire, de l'autre l'idéaliste, auquel dans le fond on ne pardonnera jamais de s'être attaqué au système de valeurs et de pouvoir institué, aussi injuste fut-il.
That time Subhash Chandra Bose was developing very good relation with Stalin and the Soviet Communist Party, CPSU and all. As a result, Roy in the beginning wanted to help him, but when he came to know that Subhash Chandra Bose is becoming very close to that side and he is trying to, bring men and material from Soviet Union to liberate from the British yoke, that time Roy got very much perturbed and Roy started making an anti-Subhash campaign.
So was it jealousy then? Pure jealousy?
I think so, but we can't say because of Shivnarayan Rai, we can't say that.
Because Subhash had much more charisma also.
Of course, and Subhash took so much help from from the Soviet side. And then he went to Germany, and there Germany people, the general saying goes that he was a fascist, but it was absolutely wrong thing. Bose's was only aim is to liberate his motherland. So for that he was ready to accept any means. So in comparison to Bose's activities, I find Roy is not in that way. Roy is not much to me.
It's in a big mess, because it's beautiful. Look at
Bose.
Here you are.
And you don't have a portrait of M.N. Roy.
Of course you don't.
Ah mais il y a Bose, il y a encore Bose, il y en a plein. C'est un fan club, en vrai. Elle a quand même l'air un peu martienne quand même.
Ma mère l'adorait. Il y avait des...
Mais les femmes adorent Bose, alors
Oui.
c'est extraordinaire.
Non, il n'y a rien d'extraordinaire, c'est normal.
Oui.
Oh, je viens de perdre une perle.
Oh, à l'instant, tu penses? Si c'est à l'instant, on peut...
এখানে একটা আমি মাত্র ধরেছিলাম পড়ে গেছে কি বললো আমি তো আছি আচ্ছা না মেয়েটা আছে আমি দেখি ওটা থাকে হ্যাঁ আমি এটা খুলে ফেলছি
Он сказал, что
В Петербурге.
it's as if it's one word.
Yes, exactly.
From there till Peterburg. Он сказал, что в Петербурге révolution.
Ashok Vishwanathan, metteur en scène, me demande si je peux venir l'aider à répéter les répliques en russe, de parodie, de Tom Stoppard. Je ne résiste pas au plaisir de rencontrer un Lénine du Bengale.
I don't know of anything greater than the Passenyata. Amazing, superhuman music. It always makes me feel perhaps naively. It makes me feel proud of the miracles that human beings can perform. But I can't listen to music often. It affects my nerves. Makes me want to say nice, stupid things and pat the heads of those people who, by living in this vile hell, can create such beauty.
Lénine. Révolution. Est-ce bien le même XXe siècle que d'un continent à l'autre nous avons vécu? Et si Lénine prend ici l'accent bengali, Mn Roy était-lui devenu le plus germanique des Indiens, comme me le confirme Shibnarayan Ray, écrivain et essayiste, collaborateur et ami de Roy, puis d'Hélène, qui débute notre entretien par une citation d'Erich Fromm, psychanalyste proche de l'école de Francfort.
It takes a long evolutionary process to arrive at objectivity. That is, to acquire the faculty to see the world, nature, other persons, and oneself as they are, and not distorted by desires and fears. The more man develops this objectivity, the more he is in touch with reality. The more he matures, the better can he create a human world in which he is at home. Now, that was what Roy was trying to do, and of course he didn't succeed. None of us did. We still live in a terribly unreasonable world. I mean, how can you think of it? I mean, a president of the United States becomes president just by fluke, and then he goes and destroys a very old civilization on a false pretext. And we live in that world helplessly. There is nothing you can do about it except shout in the streets.
Or writing books.
Writing books, which nobody reads.
Well, you see, we came to see you.
No, it doesn't really matter as long as you are happy doing your own work. No, but with Roy, I feel that, first of all, until 1945, he still did not get rid of the illusion that once the British left, there is a reasonable chance of he and the people who followed him having some share in shaping of things. So he had prepared a draft constitution for India. He had prepared the people's plan of economic development. All this best in the way he would be. But by the time power came, it came by sitting across the table. And he had been projecting this from the very beginning, that there would be no revolution in India, but a transfer by mutual agreement. So India remains what it is. The feudal structure remains, all the exploitation remains, all the inequalities, caste, Babri Masjid, every proliferating temples everywhere, cows sacred, all these bloody things remain. And if a man keeps on writing about this, he is unlikely to expect popularity. I don't know how many people read Alexander Hudson, one of the most important figures in Russia in the 19th century. But today he means something. And I remember reading in his biography that it's much easier to fight the democratic state than a stupid multitude. That's more difficult. I remember the time when I married, years, like 50 years old, these young children of the locality came, they were having Kali Puja, and so they came for donation. So I said, well, what kind of satisfaction do you get by having a nude woman standing there and dancing and making noise and all this? And what do you expect me to contribute to that when I just dislike this whole business? Now I could say that 50 years ago they were very annoyed with me, but they left me alone. Today possibly they will beat me up. So I feel that yes, in 46 when I met him, he was a disappointed man, that he could not make any mark in Indian politics. It was also a relief that he could now pursue certain things he had allowed to be more or less pushed aside because he was too much active and constantly moving, giving lectures, mobilizing opinion, That phase is over. And then he wanted to build up, we mentioned this Frankfurt Institute. Now in his letters he keeps on writing all the time that after he comes out of jail, he would like to build up something like that. And
he was aware of the works of Adorno, Horkheimer, etc.?
Oh, he knew them.
He knew them.
He knew them. But they knew him more as the top man of Comintern was come out. And so he had to establish himself as a scholar and a thinker. I would, in my mind, in my book too, separate two things. One is the fascinating career of this man. That a man who is born to a village priest, a child of a family of 10, 12 children. This chap from there moves, organizes an army insurrection, goes through all Indonesia, China, Korea, Japan, goes to Mexico, establishes a communist party, goes to Moscow, challenges Lenin. Now that's one part of the story. Breaks with them, then comes to organize an opposition, returns to India, goes into jail. Now that's one part of the story. I see it from distance because at that time I was too young and I did not know him. I know it as something from history. Now this is a fascinating man about whom one could make a film. The other is the thinker. And the thinker has not yet received the attention that he deserves. My own feeling is that if he lived in the West, he would be like a Japal Sirth, or he would be like a Bertrand Russell. But living in the backwaters of India, well, obviously a man like that does not create the interest.
Nous étions convenus, avec Comintern Roy, d'aller visiter les lieux de jeunesse de M. N. Roy, à l'époque où celui-ci s'appelait encore Narendranath Bhattacharya, fils d'un brahmane de la région de Calcutta. Mais Comintern a eu un empêchement. Il me confie à un ami qui pourra le remplacer comme guide. Peu à peu, je découvre que celui-ci ne connaît que très vaguement notre itinéraire et pas du tout l'histoire de M. N. Roy. Alors nous roulons à travers les faubourgs et les villages poussiéreux, demandant notre chemin pour des destinations incertaines que nous finissons néanmoins miraculeusement par atteindre. Un attroupement de villageois, des voisins, des passants, tout le monde veut m'aider. On me montre une rue, une maison. Est-ce là que Roy est né, qu'il a habité? Personne ne le sait, mais chacun a quelque chose à dire. Et j'en croise à peine mes yeux lorsque nous parvenons jusqu'à l'école de Harinavi, lieu des premiers engagements du jeune Narendranath. En 1905, il y organise une manifestation contre la partition du Bengale par les Britanniques, ce qui lui vaudra d'en être aussitôt expulsé. De ces années-là, il écrira plus tard. Lorsqu'écolier de 14 ans, je commençais ma vie politique, je voulais être libre. L'indépendance complète et absolue est une idée moderne. Les révolutionnaires à l'ancienne mode pensaient en termes de liberté. À cette époque, nous n'avions pas lu Marx. Nous ne savions rien de l'existence du prolétariat. Pourtant, beaucoup d'entre nous finirent leur vie en prison ou à la potence. Et ce n'était pas le prolétariat qui les faisait avancer. Ils n'étaient pas conscients de la lutte des classes. Ils ne rêvaient pas au communisme. Mais ils répondaient à un désir ardent, de révolte, contre des conditions de vie intolérables. C'est avec cet esprit que j'ai commencé ma vie politique. C'est de lui que je tire mon inspiration, plutôt que des 3 volumes du Capital ou des 300 volumes de Karl Marx. Me voici de retour à Delhi pour un ultime rendez-vous. Je dois rencontrer Vital Mahadev Tarkunde, magistrat et juriste, ancien dirigeant du Parti démocratique radical de M. N. Roy et co-signataire de son plan du peuple de développement économique. Farouche défenseur des droits démocratiques, resté fidèle aux préceptes de l'humanisme radical, il m'accueille avec une grande gentillesse, entouré de sa sœur et d'une amie de la famille.
Well, Roy was a friend. He was a very, he loved people. So he was first a man of principles, new life, rationalism, and then politics. That's how his development was. On the one hand, we knew that to support the war effort was unpopular. On the other hand, we knew that to oppose it was fatal for us. For India to be free, the only way is defeat fascism, otherwise there's no way. Therefore we took the risk. Doesn't matter. So it is from that time that we became unpopular. But I said, if you are not able to sacrifice your popularity for the sake of your principles, don't come to me.
Stones were thrown at our house.
Yes?
Yes, I remember.
Yes?
Stones were thrown at our house in Binwalewada.
Yes,
Yes,
there
I
was such a
remember.
hostility that there was such a strong hostility.
Yes, such a strong hostility that everybody was against you all. People were throwing stones.
Humanism is the philosophy of the 21st century. That's my view. Where is there? What else is there? Gandhi is gone. There's no other philosophy worth even looking at.
Dans sa somme théorique, Raison, romantisme et révolution, Roy écrit « L'histoire est le récit de l'activité de l'homme. Les institutions politiques furent créées par l'homme. Pourtant, ces créations de l'homme l'ont réduit à néant. La complète subordination du créateur à sa créature est au cœur de la crise actuelle. C'est pourquoi une renaissance humaniste, c'est-à-dire la restauration de la primauté et de la souveraineté de l'homme, est la seule voie d'issue à cette crise. » À Delhi, je visite l'observatoire de Jai Singh, souverain éclairé et astronome réputé, qui fit bâtir au XVIIIe siècle plusieurs de ces structures fantastiques, empruntant au savoir astronomique musulman, aussi bien qu'occidental de son temps. Aujourd'hui, rares sont ceux qui en connaissent l'exact usage, sauf les enfants qui s'en font des carousels. Les combats qui furent ceux de M. N. Roy, rêvant d'une humanité émancipée, qu'ils aient été perdus ou non, oubliés ou pas, réclament toujours de nouveaux combattants. Les rampes et les cadrans mystérieux de Jai Singh, aussi bien que nos télescopes actuels, observent les mêmes étoiles, inatteignables, mais illuminant nos nuits d'un même feu.